Jaiguruji Maharaj, Shukrana Guruji Maharaj, with folded hands and gratitude in my heart, I bow to the lotus feet of a beloved Guruji. With his divine grace and due permission, I would like to start the reading of Chapter 7 from the divine book Blessingreadyfordivinity by Commander Uncle. SATGURU PYARA mere naal hai. Journeys in faith. In 2004, my wife, two of my daughters and I went on a vacation to Sri Lanka. We landed in Chennai to catch a flight to Colombo. An hour before the close of the airline counter, we submitted our passports and were issued boarding passes except Shubha. Exceptionally, her passport required an immigration check. We were directed to the immigration office in the city some 10 kilometers away. We had exactly 1 hour to get this check done and return to the airline counter. It was improbable to get the documentation done in time, but I trusted Guruji. Shubha and I dashed away to Chennai city with a prayer on our lips to Maharaj. Please don't let one stamp ruin this vacation. Please make it happen. Hardly had we got outside the airport that an auto driver asked us if we were headed for the immigration office in the city. Despite many red lights, the autowala was agile and we reached the office in 20 minutes. Inside the office, the official concerned wanted to give me the lowdown on the regulations. I had only 40 minutes to get back to the airport, so I told him to get on with it. I was given a form, made triplicates at the shops downstairs and filled them up. Another 10 minutes gone. Next, 100 rupees had to be deposited in a bank about half a kilometer away. Mentally demonstrating to Maharaj at the bureaucratic hindrances, I left my daughter at the office and ran to the bank. The deposit was made in a jiffy and I ran back. Another 15 minutes gone. I got back the passport and we came out of the office to find the auto waiting for us. There were barely 10 minutes left for us to get back to the airport, factoring in minutes frittered away in the inescapable minutiae of interactions between autos, offices, banks, and airport officials. We didn't get a single red light. Within 5 to 7 minutes, I saw the Airport Authority of India signboard looming before us. Incredulous, I asked my daughter if we were near the airport already. We could see aircraft. We were there. We rushed inside. Just in time. Not really. At the airline counter, the manager was asking the girl manning the desk to close it as it was already time. But as he said this, he saw Shubha and me rushing in. He confirmed our identities with my wife, asked the girl to reopen the counter, check the baggage and get us in. What was miraculous was that it had taken us 20 minutes to go to the immigration office and less than 10 minutes to come back. I still cannot believe it happened. Who else could have made it happen but Maharaj? For Guruji, time and space are immaterial. He is omnipresent. He can position you anywhere, anytime. He doesn't let his devotees down. In Sri Lanka, we stayed at a hotel in a remote place. Flipping open a travel brochure, we learned that this place was quite close to where the demon king Ravana had held Devi Sita captive. We were right next to the Ashok Vatika. We saw the spot where one of the beautiful episodes, Sundarkand, of Lord Hanuman's visit to Devi Sita was enacted, after which he burned down the golden city of Lanka. The landscape matched the description in the Ramayana. Part of the soil was blackened as if still smarting. Part of it, a meter away, was normal. Water was flowing in the middle of the garden. Guruji had turned our vacation into a pilgrimage. Guruji loves the idea of his Sangat enjoying and doing well in life. To come to him, we would dress as if going to a function that would make him really happy. He is like a mother who finds joy in her children's happiness. It was also customary for devotees to take Guruji's permission before they went out of country. We would seek his permission if we could go to a certain place. Usually, he would smile and give his blessings. That was a way for me as well. He would often say Ashkar or some other words full of blessings. After joining the American firm in 2005, I had to go to the USA. It was going to be the first of my many visits to the USA. I came to Guruji with great excitement for taking his permission. He looked pleased, I could make out. He looked at me and, after a pause, asked me to bring 2 bottles of vitamin E tablets. I couldn't believe that Guruji was asking me to do something personally. I was elated, but I only folded my hands and acknowledged the order with Jaiguruji. As I was walking away, Guruji added that the tablets had to be of the latest date of manufacture. I turned back, folded my hands and acknowledged with Jaiguruji. I was on the 7th heaven that Maharaj was making me do something for him. Obviously, this was his way to bless me. Though it was official work that took me to the USA, getting the vitamin E tablets became the predominant task. When I landed in Washington, D.C., an American colleague came to receive me and wanted us to get to work right away. I forestalled him, telling him that I needed to buy 2 bottles of vitamin E tablets of the latest date of manufacture. He said, "Sure, but why?" I told him that it was way more important than anything else. We went to a medical shop and picked up these bottles. It turned out to be a great trip. I learned how the organization worked, made many friends, understood the functions of the workplace, and returned. On the coming Saturday, my regular day of going for darshan, I had the vitamin E bottles with me. I walked up to Guruji and presented the bottles to him. Maharaj briefly inspected the bottles and inquired if they indeed bore the latest date of manufacture. I could simply nod in affirmation. He then asked me to put them in his room. This was unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I just heard. Nobody went inside Guruji's room without his permission, but it was going to be my day to receive this exceptional blessing. Since I used to sit by that door during darshans, I was familiar with the beautiful fragrance that emanated from it. I opened the door, went inside, and I was in heaven. The aura of that place, the elegance, the simplicity and beauty were unbelievable. I was supposed to just leave the tablets there and step out, but I lingered, sitting with my back to the wall, facing Guruji's bed, just taking it all in with deep breaths. I was absorbing the very air which Maharaj breathed. Worried that I would be found out for being greedy, I bowed out reluctantly, as if I had taken something that was not my due, and quietly sat in my corner place. It felt so special. Guruji made all of us feel equally special and unique. We are essentially nothing, not even a speck of dust in the cosmic vastness. For the God of gods to make us feel wanted, that too with a personal touch, was amazing. Guruji made his Sangat feel as if they were the only ones for him. Guruji is on call all the time for each and every one of his Sangat, and that is why he insists upon connecting with him directly, not collectively. Please don't connect to him as a member of a group. That includes social media groups as well. There are no firsts among Sangat either. Have a one-to-one connection with nobody in between. I got another chance to go to the USA and again sought Guruji's blessings. My wife was standing behind me as I was speaking. Guruji looked at her, then at me, and asked if I had taken her to the USA. Before I could respond, my wife said complainingly that I had never taken her with me to the USA. I went red in the face. I mumbled the excuse that this was a business trip, but he wouldn't take no for an answer. Guruji looked at me and said, "Why don't you take her?" I said I would. Guruji then looked at my wife and said, "He will take you this time." The trip was for a short duration and there were many things to take care of, and to be honest, I did not take Guruji's word seriously. I did not take her. I came back, and when I was in Maharaj's presence, the first thing Guruji asked me was, "Did you take her with you?" I had no excuse, and before I could say something, my wife told him that I had not. Guruji firmly directed me to do so the next time. He then turned to my wife and told her that I would definitely take her to the USA next time. The next trip occurred only after Guruji's Mahasamadhi. Though the visit involved only a 2-day stay abroad, I took my wife along with me. We traveled together and came back to his presence, this time in front of his Samadhi at Bade Mandir. With teary eyes and folded hands, I told Guruji, "Maharaj, I have taken my auntie to the USA. I had the feeling that Guruji was happy I had complied with his hukam." This is true that Guruji Maharaj has taken Mahasamadhi, but very rightfully, the Sangat continues to connect and interact with him just like they used to do before Mahasamadhi with the living Guru. That is because he is very much present. We never refer to him in the past tense. We never garland his Swarup. He is forever, and our relationship, the divine, sacrosanct relationship of Guru and Chela, is permanent too. It is timeless. It is devoid of everything else that you see, because what you see is not the reality. It is a perception of reality. The soul-to-soul connection with Maharaj is the only reality. How Maharaj blesses us is difficult to comprehend. Today, when I look back, 2 of my daughters are in the USA, and I feel this is linked with Guruji's command to take my wife to that country. He saw our entire karmic context and unlocked its doors so that we can have the best possible life. A happy woman at home is an imperative part of that unlocking process. While on marital relationships, this experience added to my personal understanding, which is derived from our scriptures. Wherever a woman is respected and worshipped, that is where the gods live. Wherever they are not respected, all actions result in failure. You must keep your spouse, your auntie, ahead of you to ensure a smooth flow of blessings from Guruji Maharaj. I vividly recall watching some members of the Sangat requesting Maharaj to bless their lockets with his Swarup on them. Of course, Maharaj happily obliged them. In December 2006, we too got 2 gold lockets made and presented them to Guruji to bless them before wearing. Maharaj took the lockets in his hand and asked whom these were for. I replied that one was for me and the other for my son-in-law. Maharaj immediately asked, "What about auntie?" I was stumped. I should have known better. How could I even think of receiving blessings ahead of my wife? Embarrassed and at a complete loss of words, I could only look down and keep quiet. There was no excuse. Nevertheless, Maharaj blessed the lockets and handed them back to me. We returned home and decided not to wear them till additional lockets for my wife and daughters were also blessed by Guruji. That took a while. It was only by April 2007 that we could organize 4 more lockets identical to the 2 blessed earlier by Maharaj. I took them to Guruji and received his blessings. Then the entire family wore them together. Let me get back to a USA connection. I believe Guruji wanted the USA to be part of our future plans. For this association to be a blessed one, my going there alone wasn't good enough. My wife had to be a part of that association. We had to be blessed together as a couple. I know my wife loves to travel and see places. That makes her really happy. I also know that whatever makes her happy also makes Guruji happy. When Maharaj is happy, we receive his immense blessings. On a few trips to the USA, my wife and I have had telling experiences of Guruji's protection. Returning back from one such trip, I felt heavy vibrations coming from the left wing of the aircraft as it was taxiing out of Newark Airport. The aircraft was stopped, attended to, serviced, and we traveled comfortably thereafter. I was not worried. I knew that I was in the lap of my Guru. He always holds me like a mother. On another occasion, as we were about to take off in an Airbus 320, the plane's electricals powered down. This was a complete shutdown. The thought came to mind that had this happened just a few minutes later, we would have had a dead aircraft in the air. Some time later, power was restored. Everything was checked and the plane made flight ready. The aircraft flew like a hawk. Again, I was protected, as was everybody else, since I was in the lap of my Guru, not just sitting in the aircraft. On a recent trip in the year 2020, we had to stay put in the USA for 5 months because of COVID restrictions. We took one of the earliest flights back that we could. On the ground at Newark, the aircraft's systems stopped functioning, needing a complete system reboot, as you would do for a desktop computer. That took 2.5 hours. We took off and headed into extremely rough weather, something that I hadn't experienced in a long time, even though I travel a lot. My wife was with me and we looked at each other and all I told her was, your children are well settled and we are in the arms of a guru. Let's just go to sleep. We'll see if we wake up. Great. If we don't, great. Normally she and I don't sleep well on flights. That day, 8 hours of horrible weather could not keep us awake. We slept and when we woke up, we were near Afghanistan, less than an hour and a half away from landing in Delhi. I looked at her and said, here we are. We don't fly in an aircraft. We travel in a Guruji's lap. He just holds us tight in his arms and takes us from place A to place B. Of course, we were also unvaccinated and exposed ourselves to fellow travelers in air and on ground at Newark and New Delhi. No problems. The Shabad, SATGURU PYARA mere naal hai, encapsulates my belief. The Shabad is a commitment from Guruji himself. It means that loving Guruji is always with me. It leaves no room for discussion or argumentation. If this is something we can keep in our hearts once and for all, then we have nothing else to think, talk or care about. We do not have to ask, we have to simply believe in Maharaj. It's not a question of praying to him to be with us. That would, in my opinion, be a mistake. We have to believe that he is with us. In fact, we insist he is with us. Guruji has shown many times, in times of need and even in ordinary times, that he keeps a watch over us. During the satsangs at Empire Estate, for example, many devotees would want to continue basking in his presence. They would not want to leave because being with Guruji was an addiction. He made us feel high. I too would try and prolong my stay at Empire Estate as much as I could. I would hang around even after Langar and Agya and try to sneak back into a place where I thought Guruji wouldn't see me. It never worked though. I would try to hide behind the pillar that stood on the side of the entrance to the Empire Estate ground hall. From there was no clear line of sight to Guruji. One of the other sevaks would announce that Gurgaon Sangat had been given permission to go home. Yet, I would pretend that this instruction was not for me. I would go behind that pillar and try to sit down. Even before I could bend my knees, I would hear, Commander, go home. I wouldn't even look towards Maharaj, just fold my hands and slip out, pretending this never happened. I tried this maneuver twice and gave up. It didn't work. Guruji keeps his eyes on us. Guruji had given us 4 photographs after my praying to him quietly, as narrated in an earlier chapter. Each was with a member of the family. During our Sri Lanka visit, our youngest daughter Ila had kept the swaroop in her purse. Back at home after the trip, we slept early. The next morning, we saw her run out of her room, out of the main door, shrieking and come back inside even before could intervene. It was around 9 a.m. We wanted to know what happened when we met for breakfast. She told us that the night before she had thrown the papers from her purse into the dustbin. Unwittingly, Guruji's swaroop had also got thrown out. The rest of the piled up waste had gone into the bin on top, which my wife kept outside to be picked up by society staff. 3 amazing things happened. That morning, the pickup man did not come at his usual time of 8 a.m. He did not arrive till my daughter had realized what she had done. Also, though she had dumped the waste at the bottom of the bin, she found Guruji's swaroop right at the top. She did not have to search for it. And the third thing, the garbage man was approaching the place as she was picking up the swaroop from the bin. Another few seconds and the swaroop would have gone with the waste. If that had happened, we would not have been able to forgive ourselves ever. It didn't because Guruji would not let it happen. Guruji's swaroops are a manifestation of his presence. We had been given 2 larger swaroops that we had brought home. Once my uncle came from Meerut to visit us. He had Guruji's darshan and he wanted a swaroop. My wife had kept one of the big swaroops under a newspaper in the shelf. She decided to take it out and give it to him. It had a yellow turmeric sacred mark, Pithya, on it. Back in Meerut, my uncle gave the swaroop to be set in a frame. A few days later, he called me to say that the person who was framing the swaroop had lost it. We were now doubly sad. We had given away his swaroop that was blessed for us, and now that had been lost. We thought to ourselves that it wasn't time for a relative to have Guruji's swaroops, which were after all given by Guruji himself. Many months later, it was Diwali and we were cleaning the entire house. It was time for the newspaper on the shelf to be replaced. As my wife lifted the newspaper, she found the same Swarup present. It had the identical yellow turmeric mark. She came rushing to tell me. We called up my uncle to reassure him that the Swarup was back with us. Such is our Guruji's grace. Do we even realize who we are talking about? We are ordinary human beings full of imperfections and prone to making mistakes. But he doesn't let his devotees fall from his grace. If need be, our ear will be twisted and we will be given hard lessons a couple of times, but it will be done with a mother's touch. Our mistakes will be corrected lovingly and caringly. Guruji's universe is reformative, not punitive. Guruji is ours. He is with us all the time. He is holding our hand. All we have to do is trust him. All we have to do is trust him. If we trust Guruji is ours, then Guruji is ours. If we don't, Guruji is not ours. Our belief and trust in Guruji is the key to our connection with Maharaj. Believe in him, believe in your prayers, and he is all yours. With this, I would like to conclude today's session and would like to invite you to the reading of next chapter from the divine book Blessing Ready for Divinity by Commander Uncle. And first and foremost, I would like to seek forgiveness from our Guruji Maharaj for the mistakes in the narration of this chapter. I would also like to seek forgiveness from each and every one of you for the same. Thank you, Guruji, for everything. Thank you each and every one of you.